All right, it's April 16th. The native wildflowers coming up in the Neshaminy River Trail project. It's like pin oaks are starting to bud. The completely torn up elderberries coming back. Black chokeberries doing good in this area. More elderberry. The pawpaws budding. All the different shrubs are going. Some of the river birch is budding. All the tulip poplars budding. Some of the sweet bay magnolias budding. And notice the tags that say the date that they were planted and special things and species that do, like trying to make this into an arboretum. And pin oak colonizing river birch. That one tree planted 3 years ago has roots out to that is also river birch from over there, this big river birch. And that was planted in 2020. The tulip poplar, this was planted in 2021. Doing pretty good. I'm just going to point out a couple things that are interesting. This is a swamp white oak, and that'll be 350 years old, hopefully. So voles completely ate this sycamore down to nothing. And I have a picture of it on my website where it was eaten down to completely nothing, like a beaver, and it was falling over. And I just jammed it back in the ground while it was completely eaten and disconnected from the roots, and it's starting to grow. That's kind of cool. I didn't think that was gonna happen. And we got some donated red buds from a friend. Looks good. We still have some black gum. Out of the 25 black gum, I think 3 survived. The voles ate them all, but I didn't try jamming them back in the ground, so maybe that's my bad. This is witch hazel, and trying to get it so that use some cages for some of the shrubs until they get completely established, then put the shrub tubex back on so it gets like berries and flowers instead of just getting eaten out of the top by the deers. And what I learned is that an important thing is to, if you have berrying shrubs and you're removing invasives, have berrying shrubs, and then but put them in like have some caging. Let the berries come up once, and then let the birds eat it. Then remove the caging. If you leave it in this, they just constantly, the wildlife eats it before it gets berries on it. But this project's doing pretty good over here. And now there's persimmons and blueberries, and we're removing the cages and putting this other deer protection on around it to let other projects have the nice caging to show it off. But there's some interesting things about when voles eat they like gnaw on the bottom of the bark, and they don't eat it all, and then the leader dies. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this was just like one trunk of this tree, sometimes the voles will farm the tree, and like they'll eat just like the leader, and then multiple leaders will come up, like they're like farming it. And I've seen that happen with sycamore, and mostly sycamore, and some black gum. I'm trying to find the black gum real quick that happened to. I think it might be this one. You see how this has, so this was chewed all there, but then it has new growth. It has many coming up from the roots. So if the vole completely eats the bottom, so it's like a beaver, and like disconnecting the roots from the trunk, and it just like falls over, then nothing will grow. But in that circumstance, you can take the whole trunk and just jam it in the ground, and it potentially will start to grow like that sycamore that I mentioned over here that I didn't expect to grow. They actually use sycamores as live stakes, which I became aware of from Penn State Extension Master Watershed Stewards as we planted live stakes 2 weeks ago. That surprised me. I didn't know that we used American sycamores as live stakes. When I learned it was only native shrubs, but you can do it with sycamore too. So that's just some of the things that I learned. I just wanted to, this is like April 16th, 2024, and project is coming together. I think this whole area, maybe like 2 more years, all the leaves will be touching, and that's like the overall goal, is to create the canopy so that it prevents all the undergrowth from being able to grow over top of the trees, and then they can sustain. Just giving an update. You can see American sycamore. That's its species, genus, and it seeds September through November. They could potentially be 300 years old and get 110 foot high. This set of trees was planted in spring of 2021 by Excel Events, and it was funded by Chesapeake Bay Foundation Keystone 10 Million Trees Initiative. Just to note, a different project for across from Truman, Chesapeake Bay Foundation is the biggest instrument of change that's positive for our environment that I know of, that I can see, at least through partnerships and providing this like tree protection and the source of trees to be able to clean the Chesapeake Bay and help out Pennsylvania with the Keystone 10 Million Tree Initiative. Even though they didn't have enough trees, I was able to contact the PA Game Commission and make the Truman site happen. But we needed tree protection, so I still asked Chesapeake Bay Foundation for that, and they gave me that. So that made that project like be able to happen. I'm saying thanks. Chesapeake Bay Foundation is awesome.